So I'm still here, sitting on the rock. I've just watched my video back and I'm roaming in the gloaming, or I soon will be roaming in the gloaming. And I'm thinking about the land as always, and I'm thinking about what these private landowners do. You know, they don't want you to enjoy the land. You know, like I'm sitting here, this is brilliant. I don't know how long I've been sitting. I can see the crescent moon up here. I've got bats flying around me. I can hear the birds tweeting in the twilight. There's deer out there listening to me speaking somewhere. I know they can hear what I'm saying and they're wondering what the hell I'm doing, because they're used to humans hunting and killing them and chasing them and making them frightened. And today I read an article about how poverty changes our brain, and I think that's really important, because we know what we do to humans, we know what we do to non-humans, and we know what we do to the natural world. And there's people that spend a lot of time, scientists, studying this, and they know that people that are constantly frightened or anxious are not able to think cognitively, they're not able to think ahead, they're not able to... So therefore, someone that's constantly frightened or anxious is essentially helpless, because they're not actually able neurologically to be able to think their way out of their situation. They're trapped. And that's, you know, what the dominant culture does to us is so multifaceted. But that, you know, is one of the things that it does. And we all live in, like, it's the end of the month now, and it's Friday night. And see the difference in the local supermarkets and the garage, all the convenience stores. This weekend compared to last weekend is night and day. The petrol station was completely chock-a-block. Down at the local co-op, the car park was completely full. And so even people that are relatively, or what we might consider affluent, are better off. You know, everybody's always better off than yourself, and then did you like to think there's those unfortunates that are worse off than you. But the thing is, even those people that are affluent, we're all living on this breadline. So we're all living with this constant fear and anxiety that we're not going to have enough food to eat. And we're all living with this fear and anxiety that we're not going to be able to keep the roof over our head. You know, there's constant reminders of poverty and homelessness every day. But not only that, then we've got the added fear and anxiety. We're living in such tenuous times, and our culture is completely dominated by the military-industrial complex. These people invest billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars, and they've got to keep dropping those bombs, and they've got to keep propagating the fear. So we're constantly frightened. We're constantly anxious. You know, I myself, the last few days I've been so anxiety ridden, you know, it's like, because we all suffer the dominant culture. My mum she finally watched one of my videos and she said, you know, I think that video would have been better if you didn't smoke in it. And I was like, okay, yeah, you're right, you've got a point there. And I actually myself, I don't make a point, I do know that I do smoke in some of them, but that's because we're all fucked up in some way, and there's no point hiding it from one another. And you know, that's again this social conditioning that we constantly, in conversation and in action, we're constantly trying to better one another, and even if it's to the detriment of our own selves, which it is, sadly. I'm going to walk up on the hill and see if I can see the deer. I love what's happening to me personally. I hate the culture that we live in. It makes me angry, you know, like you guys get me out here when I'm, you know, I can get angry and I can get a bit stressed if I'm talking about something that pisses me off. You know, we're fast approaching this general election in the United Kingdom, and we need politics to get us out of this situation. But the situation in this country is so fucking corrupted. So corrupted. It's rancidly corrupted. And it makes me so sick. The conversations that the dominant culture force us to engage in makes me want to be sick. When we should be talking about, you know, the Tories, what they tried to do was they tried to stop a story breaking about the fact that 40,000 people died last year because of air pollution. Prematurely, 40,000 people. 44,000. It was a fucking lot. And they tried to stop 40,000, and they tried to stop this story breaking, and it went to the High Court. And not only that, the Tory governments are being investigated for electoral fraud from last year. Nobody's talking about that. Jeremy Corbyn started out good, but poor Jeremy, man, he just has to. He has to talk the conversation. He has to talk the language that he is forced to. Because of the dominant culture. And meanwhile, people are dying. Meanwhile, people can't eat. Meanwhile, people are so anxious they can't form healthy relationships with themselves, with other people, or the natural world. I'll speak to you later.